Hello, welcome to an awesome review, and today I'm doing a comic book pickup. I haven't done a comic book pickup in a while. I mean, I did one kind of, it was like a monthly pickup thing, and I did it like once. I was like, I'm going to try and do these every month. That didn't happen. And then there was that time I was like, I'm going to try and, do comic book reviews every Wednesday because it's New Comic Book Day, and it just makes sense to do that. And I just haven't had the chance to do comic book reviews because, well, I it it's a lot of it, I gotta read and I don't have time to read, unfortunately, so that's not working out. But today was like kind of an anomaly. It was like I got to go to the comic book store on a Wednesday and I read almost all the comics. Now I'm saying almost all because the first two I'm going to show here I didn't read, and I know you guys can already see it's Saga, and I want to apologize for not reading Saga yet, but I'm not caught up on it yet, so I can't read it if I'm not caught up on it. But I do have it because I don't want to not have it, because I want to read it at some point. I'm going to get to it. I will. I promise at some point it'll happen. But anyways, yeah, let's start off with the first things here that I haven't actually read. And like I said, number one, Saga. This is number, what are we on? 52? I don't even know how many issues I am behind. I have them all put aside, and I need to get to them and read them because it's freaking Saga. It's freaking Brian K. Vaughan, and yeah, none else to say here because I didn't read it, but it's Saga. If you guys haven't checked out Saga, I don't know what you're doing. You should be checking it out because it's awesome. Maybe you don't like those kind of stories. That's why you didn't check it out, though. I don't know. I'm just rambling here. Anyways, next up is Barrier number 5 by, again, Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martin. And I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that first name, Vincent. And the only reason I haven't read this is because I don't have issues 2 and 3. My store sold out on them, and I wasn't able to go to the store to get them. And because the whole Comixology being gone, I couldn't add it to my pull list. And I'm lazy and don't call the comic book store to do it for me. But yeah, so I need to pick those up. Probably gonna have to buy them online. My voice just went all weird. Yep. But yeah, I'm gonna probably have to buy those ones online. But yeah, I did like the first issue, and I did pick up issue number 4. So hopefully I can get the other two soon and read this because, like I said, I like the first issue. So, anyways, so like I said. Did I say this or was I just thinking this? I don't even remember. I honestly don't remember. So the way I used to do my comic book pickups, which were every Wednesday, I would go early, read everything and do them, and have them up before 3 p.m. I think I used to do comic books a lot more back then. The way I used to do it was I would review in order of my least favorite to my favorite of the week, which is what I'm gonna do here. So my least favorite is probably Doomsday Clock, and don't get me wrong, it was a pretty good issue. I'm interested to see where it's going, but here's the thing, it's again, kind of reminds me of like Dark Knight's Metal, where this event is happening separate of everything else. There's no ramifications of anything on here, at least as of right now, to anything else in the DC universe, and I don't know, I feel like that does take away from it sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't like it when stories kind of take over the entire comic book series. I'm trying to think of an example, maybe like Court of Owls. I like it, but then it bleeds into every single Bat book. But it doesn't last too long. It's maybe 1 or 2 issues per tie-in. So I'm like, okay, that's not bad, and I do like seeing it spread out. I know I've mentioned before where, okay, I don't like that because you have to read the full story to, well, you don't have to read the full story. I mean, they did a good job on that, but, to get a full grasp of everything that happened, you need to read all the tie-ins and stuff. I don't get me wrong, I'm glad there's no tie-ins like that. But at the same time, I don't know, it feels weird. It's like, okay, so when is this taking place? Is this taking place in a few months relative to everything that's going on? Or, I don't know. I don't know, that could just be me, but, again, not bad. I do like where it's going, but again, it's kind of weird, especially since, if you're reading Batman right now, I mean, I'm not caught up on Batman, but when this started, from what I remember, I would say superheroes or people aren't turning on superheroes. People aren't mad at Batman, so it's kind of like parallel to, okay, well, in this, they want Batman to turn himself in, they're mad at superheroes, that's how it's going in the world. But then you read a regular comic book and no one cares. So that's kind of what I mean by, like, it doesn't like bleed into the other ones. Maybe it will later. It's still interesting, but I don't know. Maybe once all 12 issues are out and I reread them, yeah, I'll like it more. But for now, it's at the least favorite of the week for me. I'm sure plenty of you guys liked it. I don't know. I just have those kind of minor issues. But, art good, writing good. Just, I don't know. I feel like something that was being hyped up since Rebirth, well, it doesn't feel as hyped. I mean, the launch of it was, I know they did a midnight release, but again, now it feels like, okay, well, this is happening and it's not bleeding into anything. And like I said, like Dark Knight's Metal, it was an alright series. The tie-ins were pretty good. I didn't read all the tie-ins, and then I got lost, but it didn't matter if you didn't, it was like its own separate thing that didn't affect the Batman comics, from what I know, or Superman, or any other comics. It just was its own contained thing with its own set of spin-off tie-in series, I guess you could say, which is good. But at the same time, you needed to read them to understand that ending. That's going to be a rant for another day, for another video, whenever I get to reviewing that, because that's kind of annoying. That's not cool. Anyways, next up we have The Last Siege, and I believe this is the variant cover, because I want to say the other cover looked kind of better, honestly, in my opinion. But yeah, so I didn't know this thing was coming out. I didn't know this was a thing until I think last night when I was just looking to see what's coming out today. I looked up the art. It seemed interesting, and it was alright. It wasn't anything mind-blowing. Like, how some issue number ones are kind of like, oh my god, that was so good. I'm hooked. I want to read the next issue. This was like, okay, I'm interested. I'll read the next issue, but I'm not like, oh, I need it out right now kind of thing. I don't know. It's about... And, it's minor spoilers here. It's about this kingdom. I guess the king died. He only had a daughter. So without sons or anything, the daughter either needs to marry somebody or is probably going to get murdered. And the kingdom's going to take it over. And this one dude shows up in the kingdom and kind of causes a ruckus. And I don't know. It seems okay. I'll get the next issue to see how it is. But I don't know. It was alright. That's my best way to putting it right now. The art was good. I really do like the art, actually. But I don't know. It's medieval, which is why I got it. I do like that kind of genre, medieval fantasy, all that stuff. But it's not fantasy. I'm just saying I like fantasy stuff. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It was alright. I was a little bit more entertained with that than, again, Doomsday Clock, and probably one reason being the fact that Doomsday Clock is monthly, and it's so separated that even if something cool happens at the end of one issue, by the time the next issue comes out, that hype has kind of died down on, at least for me, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that happened. You know what I mean? But yeah, anyways, next up, XMen Red Annual #1. Reason it's my second favorite is because, well, if anyone knows me, they should know what X-Men are like my favorite, or tied for favorite kind of series, and Jean Grey has been one of my favorite female Marvel characters next to Captain Marvel for, well, ever. And this, honestly, was the issue that X-Men Red 1 should have been. X-Men Red #1 was her kind of gathering a team and, talking to the government and all this kind of stuff happening. This takes place pretty much right after Jean comes back, and she's talking to everybody, tying up loose ends, and it was good. It was actually really, really good. I really liked it. One of my favorite lines in here is where she meets Old Man Logan, and he's like, they know they're not each other's, that's not his Jean and that's not her Logan, and they handshake and everything. He's all, I'm Logan, just not yours. And she's like, I'm Jean, I was never yours. And it was just like thank you, because so many people are still stuck on the whole, oh, Jean and Logan, especially with the X-Men movies. They're like thinking, oh, Jean and Logan, X-Men 3, X-Men 2, oh, they should be together and all that stuff. No, this was great. This was great because it kind of slapped that in the face. Even in the end of it, it still kind of slapped it in the face, especially when she's calling Scott still her husband and all that stuff. And even the way that Phoenix Resurrection ended. It kind of does slap it in the face there with the whole, oh, Jean and Wolverine thing. I honestly loved how that went. So, really liked it. Not much else to say about it other than it was good. I mean, you don't even have to read X-Men Red to enjoy this issue at all. It does lead off to like kind of hinting at a future story arc, but for the most part, if you just read Phoenix Resurrection and didn't care about X-Men Red, read this. It's kind of more like an epilogue to that. So that would be my recommendation on that one. And lastly, for me, definitely the issue of probably the month is Amazing Spider-Man 800. Dan Slott's. I don't know if this is the actual final issue. I know that it's his last story arc. The reason I'm saying that's because at the very end of the thing, it talks about him saying his farewell in issue 801. So maybe that's his last issue. I'm not sure. I didn't look it up. But yeah, going down swinging conclusion. I don't know how many parts this was, and I think it's funny. So again, gonna go on a rant here. But people went so crazy for Spider-Man. I don't remember the issue number, but it's basically the one where, again, spoiler alert, Norman gets the Carnage symbiote, I don't freaking know how you guys want to pronounce it, where he gets Carnage, basically, and they're like, oh, we gotta get it, because it's first appearance of Red Goblin, but, that thing did sell out like crazy everywhere. People were asking, crazy amounts of money for it. I have this pulled, so thankfully that didn't happen to me, but I thought that was hilarious, considering at the end of it, he's just Carnage. He's not even Red Goblin until the next issue, which I think a lot of people did buy up, but a lot of people didn't, because if you go on eBay, there's people selling them by the like three of them for a pretty decent price, kind of like, oh, these scalpers screwed up. So I think that's hilarious. But anyways, going down swinging conclusion, 80 pages, $10, freaking amazing. I've been reading Dan Slott's, Spider-Man run for as long as I can remember, since before issue, what did he do, 700, and even 700 was amazing. He had Superior Spider-Man, which was, again, amazing. This, though, he's done a lot of work. We've had, Spider Island, Trouble on the Horizon, which was a pretty good one. I'm just putting that out there. He's done a lot of different things. I'm trying to remember the one with all the spider people. I don't remember the name of it. Clone Conspiracy, he did that. Yeah, he's done a lot of stories. Spider Island definitely being one of my favorite ones from him, but this might actually top it. Even from, what was it, Dying Wish? Was that the last two leading into 700, which led into Superior Spider-Man? That was good. That was amazing. That one pissed a lot of people off, and a lot of people dropped that series because of it. This won't have the same effect, but it was really well written, and it's funny because when it was first announced, I was like, okay, and when I started reading it, my first thought was, oh, okay, so it's Norman again, because he's kind of been used a pretty good amount lately. But I don't know, it was done really well with Carnage. There was a lot of twists in this issue that I didn't expect. A lot of people who I wasn't even expecting to be in it being in this issue, and all of them playing a part that you, again, wouldn't expect. And it was such a good conclusion. It was such a good story. My assumption was, okay, he's going to fight Norman, and it's going to last a few issues, and that's it. Because, the last few events have been, I don't want to say massive, but they've tied in a little bit more, with Clone Conspiracy and Spider-Verse kind of being like broader, bigger things. There's so many characters, there's so many things going on, and there's maybe a spin-off series or a tie-in series, and this one kind of just goes down to its roots. It's like, okay, all you gotta do is pick up Amazing Spider-Man, read it, and you're set. You don't have to go out and get Going Down Swinging issue number 1 through 4 and Amazing Spider-Man to understand it, which is what happened with Clone Conspiracy. There was an entire Clone Conspiracy series, which I didn't even know of. So, I didn't know that I was supposed to be reading that along with Amazing Spider-Man. I thought it was like, oh, it's in Amazing Spider-Man, I just have to read that to know what's going on. No, you had to read that series. This, more self-contained, it's its own thing, which I think is good, and it was amazing. We have different artists in here doing their different interpretations. We have a really long interview in the back, which I haven't read yet. I'm going to. Hopefully, I will if I remember. Which we got like an epilogue too, which seems interesting. Um, it even says it said something about, oh, you stayed, now you're in for the surprise, and the ending of it was good. It was good. I have nothing else to say other than it sucks that Dan Slott is leaving to, I believe, do Iron Man. I might pick up Iron Man just because he's doing the writing for it. He did Silver Surfer, and that was good. So I'm expecting Iron Man to be good again. Not that it was bad before, but I mean, you have someone like Dan Slott who's been writing Spider-Man for years. Other series we've had people switch in and out between who's writing what for the last I don't even know how many years. Dan Slott's been like one of the only constants in Marvel, so definitely gonna follow him over to that. Definitely recommend this, even if you haven't read the other parts, which I do recommend you try and get. I definitely say get this issue because it was good. It was good. If I did spoilers here, I would be talking about a whole bunch of stuff. I might even, whenever the trade comes out, I'm probably gonna get it, and I'll get into spoilers then. But until then, I'm tired. I don't know if you can tell. It's been a long day. So, yeah. Anyways, that is my comic book pickups for this week. I don't know if I'll be doing this again next week. I don't even know what comes out next week. Again, without Comixology, I don't know what I'm doing. And, yeah. So, anyways, that's that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like button, comment down below, subscribe for more figure pop and all those kind of reviews coming along for the rest of the week, and hopefully next week. I've actually gone like 2 months as of this video, assuming this is the video that goes up today, Thursday. As of this month, I've gone 2 straight months of uploads. Hopefully I can keep that up. I might have to start taking the weekends off again just because finding content in this city is hard. But like I've been saying before, check out AV Pop Shop because they do support this channel a lot, so I'm really thankful for that. And yeah, hopefully more comic book stuff coming in the future. If you guys didn't check it out, I did do a Dark Phoenix Saga kind of video, way different than all my other comic book type videos that I've done before. Check that out. I will be doing a part 2 of it, and maybe a part 3 depending on how long part 2 is. Just that video took so long to do that we'll see if I can get it done this month, hopefully, and I'm hoping to have more videos like that in the near future. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all later. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.